let's get into it. We're doing a deep dive today into a really fascinating passage, Zechariah chapter 2. It's this ancient prophetic vision, and it's just packed with promises, restoration, incredible divine protection, but also this striking command for silence.
Right. And our mission really is to unpack what this text tells us about, well, genuine security, this idea of expansion, and how we're supposed to respond, when faced with God actually doing something. Is it fear? Is it arrogance? Or maybe awe?
Yeah, exactly. And it starts with this really strong visual, doesn't it? Verses 1 and 2, the prophet sees a man holding a measuring line.
Yeah. Looks like he's ready to measure out Jerusalem, probably for, building some big new city walls. Makes sense after the exile.
Seems logical. But then comes the twist.
A big one. The message basically stops him. Says, hang on, don't measure for walls. Jerusalem is going to be like villages without walls.
Without walls. Why?
Not because of a lack of resources, surprisingly, but because of the sheer multitude of people and livestock that will be there. It's like the city's success, its growth, will literally overflow any human-made boundaries.
Wow. So physical walls aren't the answer, but what provides the security?
That's verse 5. And it's this incredible dual promise. God says, I myself will be a wall of fire all around it, and I will be the glory in its midst.
A wall of fire, that sounds intense, and the glory within, so external protection and internal presence.
Precisely, a wall of fire. Think about it, totally impenetrable, active, divine protection from the outside. But just as important is that internal aspect, the glory, the visible, undeniable presence of God inside the city. That's the real source of security.
Okay, so you have this promise of total security, this divine firewall, but then right after that, verses 6 and 7 seem really urgent.
They do. There's this command, up, flee from the land of the north, which means Babylon, where many were still exiled, escape to Zion.
So God's providing the ultimate protection, but the people still have a part to play. They need to act, to actually flee.
Exactly. Divine action doesn't cancel out human responsibility. The protection is there, but they need to respond to the call to escape the place of their captivity. It shows trust involves action.
And what about the nations, the ones who plundered them in the first place, Babylon and others?
Well, that leads into verse 8. And it's one of the most deeply personal and fierce declarations you'll find. God warns those nations directly. He says, basically, anyone who touches you touches the apple of his eye.
The apple of his eye. That's incredibly tender yet protective, isn't it?
Absolutely. Think about how instinctively you protect your eye. It's vulnerable, vital. Touching the apple of God's eye means attacking something incredibly precious to him, guaranteeing a swift, strong reaction.
And this isn't just about Judah, right? The scope seems bigger later on.
Much bigger. Verses 10 to 12, look forward. It says, the Lord will dwell among them, yes, but also that many nations shall join themselves to the Lord in that day and shall be my people. It's a global vision.
Which brings us to that final verse, verse 13. After all this, the firewall, the gathering nations, the fierce protection, comes this command. Be silent, all flesh, before the Lord.
For he has roused himself from his holy dwelling. Yes, a universal command for silence. Why?
Well, our research suggests it's less about sheer terror and more about profound awe, necessary reverence in the face of overwhelming divine action.
Right. It stands against that sort of modern tendency towards, well, arrogance maybe. The feeling that with science and progress, we've got it all figured out, that we don't need to stand in awe of anything.
Like we can just dismiss the sacred.
Exactly. And there's actually a Korean proverb our notes mention that captures this perfectly. A puppy doesn't fear a tiger. Hargangaji biomizun jul morinda.
A puppy doesn't fear a tiger.
Yeah. The puppy is too young, too foolishly confident to understand the tiger's power. It might just bark or charge in, completely unaware of the danger, the sheer magnitude of what it's facing.
So that's like humanity acting arrogant before God.
Kind of. It illustrates that hubris, that lack of proper perspective. The point here in Zechariah is God isn't distant or inactive. He has roused himself. He's moving. And when the tiger is moving, human boasting, human noise, human confusion, it all needs to just stop. Silence is the only fitting response.
Wow. So the passage really contrasts God's immense power and presence with our human reactions, which can swing between fear and that sort of puppy-like arrogance.
And it points towards reverence, towards awe-filled silence and trust as the right path.
Okay. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, to mull over is this.
Right.
What fears are really dominating your thoughts right now? If God is truly this wall of fire, this active presence who has roused himself, what should your response look like this week? What action, or perhaps what intentional silence and trust is needed?